this one, somebody had to get their first win of the season. Also, a homecoming of sorts for former Cannons coach John Tucker and former players Scott Ratliff, Adam Gittleman, and Ryan Tucker coming back home to Boston. Boston looking to send them away with an 0-2 start. Boston up 1-0, but back come the Blaze. Ryan Tucker back against his former team, ties things up at 1 apiece. But later on, Max Seabald, the former Cornell great, doing all sorts of good stuff, beats everybody. Take another look at this. Pretty spin move, then another dodge. 2-1, Cannons in the lead. But this one was back and forth, especially early. Kevin Rice, he had a terrific week 1. Another terrific game today. Rice knots things up at 2 apiece. Atlanta going on a 3-goal run to take a 4-2 lead, make it 5-2. Jay Carlson diving in front. Cannons up, Blaze up by a 3 spot. But Seabald at it again. A 2-pointer way downtown. Just like that, the Cannons right back in it, down by 1 at 5-4. As you see another look at the sharpshooting, going 5-hole there on Adam Gittleman. But there's that Rice guy again. Smooth.
He's pretty good.
Spins and wins. 6-4, Atlanta in the lead. Terrific stuff from Kevin, former Cuse guy. It's their big game this weekend. Later on, 6-5. Seabald tying things up for Boston. Game tied at 6 apiece. Seabald keeping them in it almost single-handedly. And then the Cannons still need to come back, and this time it's Davey Emila. Makes it 8-7. Cannons back down by 1 as you see Emila going back at it. Later in the second half, you get one more look at this one.
Ooh, he took the hit too.
Doesn't matter. Worth a goal. Still the same. Second half, Wells Stanwyck. There's a lot of good Stanwicks in that family. He dives and scores. Game tied at 8 apiece. What a spin move. Stanwyck knotting things up. Later on, Atlanta has taken the lead once again, but once again, back comes Boston. Will Manny coming across the GLE, and he spins and finishes. Game tied at 9 apiece, and then Brett Adams.
Oh my goodness.
The goal of maybe the season. From behind the cage, sky high, and he finishes. Boston just exploding, going up 12-9 at that point. And then Craig Bunker wins the face-off, and they're going coast to coast. Manny burying it at the end of the play. 13-9, Cannons are up by 4. Blaze would give them a bit of a scare down the stretch, but Boston getting win number 1. 13-12, your final here. Seabald, 5 goals in all. He can add assist as well, as Manny also went off for a 5-point day. Here's the star, Seabald, afterward.
You know, we were excited to just get back to Harvard. It's been a couple of years, obviously, last year at Gillette, and we're excited to be back here in front of the fans right in Boston. You know, we had a tough go last week. A couple guys that didn't play last week played this week, and you know, we had a good effort all around. You know, started with our defense. We had great guys with Bong and Nardo on the face-off X, and you know, offensively we just got enough. I think we could still improve, but you know, a lot to work on still.
So for more on this one, let's go back to the guys who called the game for us here on LSN, John Meter-Perrell and Kyle Devin.
At Harvard Stadium, it was a good night for the Boston Cannons as they hang on to win, and they beat the Atlanta Blaze 13-12. With Kyle Devin, I'm John Meter-Perrell. Very impressive performance overall in the second half for Boston after struggling at times in the first half. Max Seabald was our Coca-Cola player of the game. He had 4 goals, including a 2-pointer.
I mean, all in the first half, too. That's where you got to look back on and say, wow, he scored all those in one half? Like, how did he do that? Max Seabald, vintage Max Seabald. There was a time where Max Seabald was regarded as the greatest, most complete lacrosse midfielder on the earth, and he might be back there now. And if he is, that's bad news for the rest of the league. Great news for the Cannons, though, pulling out the victory.
Also important at the X, Boston had the edge, 20 out of 28. Craig Bunker and Joe Nardella were effective.
Absolutely. And Nardella coming in, making his first appearance in relief, and didn't come on to the second half. Still won some key draws for them, tied up O'Brien for the Blaze. Scrappy Bunk doing work. D3 Life, hashtag D3 Life. Great job playing his ball at Colby.
And Tyler Fiorito, a new goalie for Boston. Jordan Burke retired. They acquired Fiorito from Chesapeake, and he's made an impact.
The lucky lefty making big stops, had an amazing diving save in the third quarter to preserve the lead for Boston. Boston went on to hold on and win the game. Not really the most impressive, emphatic victory anyone's ever seen, but a victory is a victory. Boston's 1-1.
And where does Atlanta, under their first-year coach John Tucker, go from here?
I think Atlanta has a lot of role definition to work out. They had a lot of midfielders playing two-way that played one way well and not the other way. So I think we need to get some defensive midfielders, kind of focus a little bit more on your 6-on-6 defense and your sets instead of chasing the ball and trying to manufacture transition.
It was a fun night for the Cannons fans. Boston is 1-1. For Kyle Devitt, I'm John Mita Perrell. Good night from Harvard Stadium.